Now, I like to keep my ear to the fantasy streets and the NFL streets, and I like to keep it close, especially when it comes to my Rams, where in the last couple of days, I just been hearing rumblings of Mac Jones to the Rams, and I'm thinking like, wait, maybe, yeah, that's starting to make sense to me a little bit. That I think he would be a valuable option for a cheap price to go get to bring him on to sit behind Matthew Stafford for a year or two. Now, I think Matthew Stafford still has a lot in the tank. I want to say that just to be clear, because this bounce back season that he just had just shows that if this team is healthy and they're at 100% and everybody's on the field like Kyron Williams, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford himself, this could be one of the most dangerous offenses in the NFL. And we saw that on the back end of the season when they were going into the playoffs. They were a team that you'll be scared to play. Now, Detroit, they came out to win. Salute to Jared Goff, but I really feel as though that game could have went either way. Now, Matthew Stafford is a guy that probably has a good year or two left, and I think targeting a guy like Mac Jones for a mid-round pick could do the job. I mean, honestly, if we're looking at the market right now for quarterbacks, Justin Field at the top, let's just say that, is far too steep for the Rams. I really think that's going to be a hefty price tag, and that'll just put us in a position where I don't think the Rams have a ton of money to just dump into Justin Fields, and I really think that fifth-year option is going to be expensive. So why don't you just go back into the wait and just till the 2025 season to see what happens to him this season? But if it's not Justin Fields, but I think if you go after Mac Jones, now these last two seasons, they have looked terrible for him. But if we're looking at Mac Jones as a whole, I'd like to go back to his rookie season where he showed flashes, showed some good things on tape where you can build off of. But if we're looking at this Patriots offense and what he did his rookie season, and to me, it was a decent rookie season. This man did it with Nelson Aguilar. He did it with Hunter Henry. He did it with Jonnu Smith and Kendrick Bourne with a rising star in Jacoby Myers as their number one out of the slot. That was a good rookie season for Mac Jones, but the following seasons, I really can't, call it because, Josh Daniels leaves, and then obviously there's a change there from that offensive coordinator. You bring in Matt Patricia where things were just disgusting, and then the following year you bring in Bill O'Brien. It just didn't work out. And then in that mix, you lose Jacoby Myers as your number one wide receiver, and you bring in a banged up Juju Smith, which definitely didn't help matters for Mac Jones. He gets benched for Billy Zappi. The rest is history. Now, there's probably going to be a bunch of back and forth here, that Mac Jones sucks, Mac Jones is this, Mac Jones is that. I just feel as though he just never got a fair shake since that rookie season. Now, these pieces they brung in that 2021 season, they spent big. They're good, solid pieces as twos, maybe third options in offenses. None of them are ones right now. You traded away Johnny Smith because you couldn't utilize him properly in that offense where we're seeing him do good things in Atlanta, and hopefully he continue to do those things. But more or less, I just think Mac Jones needs a fair shake, and I think the LA Rams, which is being stapled as the QB rehab, which I'm falling in love with that because, man, you see them bring in Baker Mayfield, and I can even add Matthew Stafford to that, where he wasn't on the back in his career. He was just a really good quarterback in a bad situation. In the first year there, he wins a Super Bowl. But then I just want to go back to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield comes in after 2 days knowing the playbook, comes out and get a win like he did against the Raiders. Man, that was amazing to watch, amazing to feel. And now Baker Mayfield finds success after leaving the LA Rams with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, gets a 3-year deal, which is amazing by Baker to go and do that, to find his way, to find his grounding in Tampa. Salute to him. But even Carson Wentz, in the small sample size that he was with us, and he played for the San Francisco Rams. He played for the Rams against the San Francisco 49ers in that last game where he came out with a win. It was a great confidence booster out there. It was happy to see him play some happy, fun-filled football and see a smile on his face. I don't know why I got all jumbled up there. I never want to make that mistake as a Rams fan to mix up 49ers, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, never again. But anyway, Carson Wentz, he's even being buzzed around as a possible backup, a valuable backup quarterback for a team that's out there in the market looking for one, or even a desperate team right now who needs a starting quarterback like the Steelers. You need to get Kenny Pickett out of there. Teams that are not going into this draft that are going to be getting a top prospect quarterback, if they're not getting, a Drake Mayotte or a Drake Mayer, or if they're not getting a Caleb Williams or a Jaden Daniels, if they're not getting them, I don't know if they're in the market for a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix Jr., especially when you have some veterans that are a little bit better than those guys outside the top 3 top prospects. So I really feel as though you're looking at Mac Jones, you're looking at him like, all right, I can get a mid-second from my strat, my not my strategy, but my vision for this is that he sits behind Matthew Stafford for this year and he endures the QB rehab, and we could probably see a future star in LA Rams with the young weapons he has in Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams. You just simply build on there. I'll add Tutu Atwell to that as well as a youth talent on that offense. So there's a lot of things that the Rams can do in this draft. I just hope they don't spend their first round pick in a very long time for a quarterback, because honestly, we haven't seen Sean McVay develop a young quarterback out of the draft, which not going to say that he can't. It's just something that we just haven't seen. I mean, honestly, it's probably hard to do that when your offensive staff is constantly ripped from you year after year. I mean, look, if you go back to 2017 with Matt LaFleur. Now he gets ripped from Sean McVay. He's an offensive coordinator and now a head coach for the Packers. I mean, Greg Olson was the QB coach. He leaves after the 2017 season. I mean, QB coach and Zach Taylor, he leaves after the 28 season. Now he's a Bengals head coach. Kevin O'Connell leaves after the 21 season. Now he's the Vikings head coach, et cetera, et cetera. It goes on and on. And as of recent, Zach Robinson, our QB coach, offensive coordinator, now following Raheem Morris to Atlanta to call the shots to bring over an offensive scheme that could fit for the Falcons, but they need to find a quarterback. But I just want to say that's kind of hard to try to develop a young quarterback out of the draft when your offensive staff, your OC, your quarterback coach is constantly ripping from you for year after year. So hopefully Sean McVay still has a really dope relationship with Bill Belichick, because I know he looks up to him as a mentor, one of his heroes in this game, in this business. And I really feel as though if Bill could do us, and I say us as a Rams fan, do us a solid to just kind of push the motion that, yo, Mac Jones is for sale. Do us a favor, not too expensive, a mid-round pick. Boom, get it done. And then we could just see what we got from Mac Jones. Because I honestly would rather Mac Jones over a Sam Howell, a Kenny Pickett, a Zach Wilson. I mean, the names go on. And even some of the veterans, I would rather Mac Jones over Ryan Tannehill right now in the back end of his career. I would rather Mac Jones over a Davis Mills. I would rather Mac Jones over Sam Howell, Kenny Pickett, Carson Wentz, et cetera, et cetera. I just would rather Mac Jones over those guys, and I think the Rams can get this job done. Now, briefly on the dynasty aspect of things for fantasy. Now, you're probably thinking, I'm not going to go out there and send a draft pick out until I know the actual price and value of what he could be. But if Mac Jones ends up on the Rams, if this happens in March and free agency and et cetera, if you're not too big of a fan of the second round and the running backs or the quarterbacks, so if you're not a fan of Michael Penix Jr. that's going in the late to mid round, second round draft pick, on in rookie drafts and super flex, Bo Nix, if you're not a fan of him, that's in that mid to second round range as well. Or even the running backs, like I was saying, if you're not a big fan of Bucky Irvin or Trey Benson, then I think you can ship those mid to late second round picks for Mac Jones if he's a Ram. Only if this scenario exists, if he's a Ram, where I'm able to ship off a mid to late round second round pick for Mac Jones. And honestly, like I said, that rookie season, he has building blocks there. I think that's something that Sean McVay and that offensive staff can really take on and get him well polished, learned up to learn this system, be able to execute it, and make good decisions with the football and be a good football player for the LA Rams. So that's just what I think. That's the scenario that I hope kind of plays out for Mac Jones. I mean, if you found any value in this video, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment below on what you think about this. Mac Jones to the Rams. Is it a good fit? I mean, it feels nasty coming off the tongue just based on the last two seasons that Mac Jones has had, but fine, man. Just listen. I think that the QB rehab is real. We saw it with Baker. We saw it with Matthew Stafford. We saw a little brief instance with, Carson Wentz, but I really think, I can see Mac Jones in the Rams jersey, and he could possibly lead us to a future to where we have great quarterback play from him, and this young talent could just build around him and build and build. And Sean McVay can have fun calling plays, being a coach, and I'm not going to say playing football, but being a coach and calling the plays and et cetera, to where this could be a possible future for a lot of Rams fans and for Mac Jones.